it's quite possible that you're wasting hours creating more than you have to, because instead of reusing what you already have, what you're doing is always creating something new, which means that it's quite possible that you're trapping yourself into putting time, money, and effort into creating content that you've basically done already. And I always tell people, okay, go back and audit your content, see what you have that you can use again. But one of the big reasons people never do this is because they are not organizing their files properly. So they can't find what they want to find when they need to find it. And finding files that you've made is really close to my heart, because I've been a graphic designer, I've been a web designer, I've been a photographer. And one of the worst things that can happen is that when you want to get a file, you know what the file is, but you can't seem to find it anywhere. You can search, you can look in folders, but you simply cannot locate the file. And so because I've experienced this problem firsthand over the years, I've begun to store and create a filing system for myself that I know I can go back and find almost anything I want pretty easily. And I'm going to share that with you today. It's a pretty simple system, but you can see how it will help you if you make a lot of content, or even if you make a little content and you want to organize it in a way that you can go back and find the things that you want to very easily. And the reason it's important to have your files organized is that it will help you save hours on content creation in the future and help you remain consistent. I forgot to mention, I'm Juma, a creative director and video content strategist with over 14 years experience. I've led video projects for $1 million companies and created over 700 LinkedIn videos that have earned more than 1 million views. Now there's that. Now on to the video. But before we get into the structure, I do have some tips that will help you to organize your video file content in general. So let's go with tip number 1. Don't create your videos on a platform and just leave it there. So as you know, many content creation platforms allow you to create your videos on the platform natively. So what you do is you record in the app, you put on the effects, you put on the captions, you add whatever sounds you want, and then that content is inside of the app. So you create it in there. It makes it much easier for you to share content when it's created inside of the app. But what it also does is that it only exists inside of the app unless you download it. And the same goes for if you make live videos. If you live stream to YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever platform that you like to live stream on, it remains on the platform. And of course, if your streaming services allows you to store content, it remains there as well. But the main thing is to make sure that the thing does not only exist on the native platform. Download the file and store it somewhere offline so that you can have access to it, or upload it to a cloud service like Google Drive or Box or whatever you want to use. I myself use Google Drive. But do not leave your video files on a native platform, because if at any time you no longer have access to that native platform, let's say your account gets compromised in some type of way, or you get copyright strikes, or your profile gets blocked for some reason, that means you lose that native content forever. So do not leave your content on the native platform only. Download it, put it somewhere, upload it to the cloud, but save it separately. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, as much as possible, always have an accompanying script or an outline for your videos. And the reason I'm saying this is because I know some of us are really very good at making spontaneous videos, on the fly videos, videos with storytelling and videos saying something happening right now. And that's mostly short form videos, because longer videos do take a bit more planning than that. But even if you make these spontaneous short form videos, always have a script saved separately or an outline saved separately. So maybe what you want to do is that after the video is completed, you want to go and get the transcript of the video and put it somewhere else, so that in the future, when you want to write captions for that video, that you have the actual transcript and the text. If you want to run it through ChatGPT, Claude, or some other AI assistant in order to create a caption for you based on the transcript of the video, then you can do that very easily. And of course, you can then take that outline or script and create other content with it. So don't only have the video, always have an outline or a script to go along with the video that you have created, if you create spontaneously. And tip number 3, clear out all of the raw files that you haven't used to create your content. Now, I know some people only realize how much files they have when their phone all of a sudden runs out of storage, or they find themselves running out of SD cards or whatever type of storage media that they use for their cameras. But what you really want to do is at the end of editing your video, you just want to get rid of the extra takes or the extra files that have not been in use. This will help you save on space and help you reduce clutter, so that when you're going through files, you don't have to go through multiple things that are not really relevant to the content that you have made. And in fact, after about a year or maybe even less, depending on how your content cycle goes, you can get rid of the original files that you used to make the content, because that wouldn't really be of use to you anymore, unless of course it's a long form content and you want to keep it for that reason. Short form content is a bit more disposable and you might want to get rid of those original files, but at the very least, don't keep the raw or original files that you don't need. Clear up the clutter and keep your space free. That's tip number 3. And so now let's go into the file structure that I use personally. And I know there are many different ways you could do this. In fact, one of my good content friends, Stephen G. Pope, has a whole automated system that takes care of this for you. But for those of us who don't have an automated system and we want to keep it simple, we're making content for ourselves or a small team, doing this can really help you tremendously. So let's look at that file structure right now. So the file structure basically goes like this, and it's comprised of folders. It starts off with the platform first, then the year, then the month, then the file title. Let me say that again. Platform, year, month, file, title. And I can show you an example of this right now. All right, so I have here my social media content, and I have 4 folders. I have my LinkedIn videos folder, which is on top, at the very top. I have my podcast folder, which is below that, my TikTok videos folder, and my YouTube videos folder. Now, these are the 4 platforms that I distribute content to. In general, the platforms that I natively post to mainly is LinkedIn, my podcast platform, which is the audio, and of course the video streams to YouTube. I have YouTube videos and I have TikTok style videos that actually go to TikTok. So let's have a look into the folder, well, the LinkedIn folder in particular, to see how that is structured. So as you would notice, LinkedIn is the name of the platform. So that comes first at the top: podcast platform, TikTok platform, YouTube platform, and these are all videos. So the platform comes at the very top. Let's now look into the folder to see what else there is. Right, so inside the folder now, there are the years. It's 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. 2020 and 2021, I have saved elsewhere. So we have the platform at the top, and then we have the year. And if you're paying attention, you know the next level is the month. So for this example, let's go into the 2023 folder. So now that we've opened the 2023 folder, you can see that there is August, December, July, June, May, November, October, and September. The reason that there are only these months in that year is because I took a break during the year. And so I have a gap, like a big chunk of the year missing, because I was off for a few months. And I do take content breaks from time to time. And so only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, 4 months of the year I'm missing. Doesn't mean I didn't create content within that time. It just means I didn't edit or post at that time. So as an example, now that we've seen the platform, we've seen the year, we've seen the month, let's go into the folder and see what that looks like. So this is the June folder for me. And in June, I made about 20 pieces of content in June. It made me 19, because these two are looking like they're the same piece of content, but just with some different edits. And so the way in which you now approach it is that you want to title the file either with the hook of the video. That's the first thing you say in the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video to capture attention. Or you want to give the name of the file the actual title of the video. So many times the hook and the title don't match up. For example, look at this video I have here. It says, create content, get paid more. And if I were to show this video, so this is that particular video. And in fact, the name of the file is the same as the title of the video. So I went with that for this one. And that's because this video is a clip from a longer piece of content that I have. So the hook may not have been a strong hook, but the title exists at the top and it's the same name as the file. So in this case, I use the title and I name the file after the title. And so let's go over this again. Let's go up at the very top. The very first thing is the platform. In this case is LinkedIn. Then secondarily, it's the year. In this case is 2023. Then it's the month. In this case is June. And then if you want to find a file, you can go ahead and look at the title at a glance. You can know exactly what it is. And that makes it much easier for you to find the video content that you want to use. Again. Now, one of the things that also helps you to find the file is to go back through your social media content and see what you've posted. That way you can look and see what got the most engagement or what got the most comments or what you got the most DMs from. And then you can go search for that exact title or the hook inside of your folder structure. And that way you can find it very easily. So once you organize it like this, you know for sure that it's going to be one or two things. The file is either going to be named after the hook you used in the video, or it's going to be named after the title of the video. And what makes it even better is that when you find that file on your social media platforms, the date will be there. And all you need to do, which makes it even easier, is go back and match the date back to that particular date folder, that month in the folder structure that you have created. So it makes it very, very easy, super easy to go back and find files that you want so you can then reuse it or repurpose it or remix it or however you want to take that content and make it work for you again. So I hope this insight was useful. Let me know how you organize your content. Maybe I'm doing it not as good as you are. I'll be happy to hear the way you organize your content in the comments below.